the village manager, yourself, or another trustee.
When you say sending a report, so you heard from him beside the report?
I received a report by email. I'm asking you, who is the right to have read this report?
Well, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to know why the elected official, Mr. Chavez, is not contacting you, but yet he contacted the village clerk. He's more responsible under you than the village clerk. So why would he contact her without giving you any status of his location or his position as an elected official? I'm quite sure, and I speak for the people in Sauk Village, they would want to know this.
I have heard from Trustee Chavez for over probably 5 or 6 weeks. I don't know what has happened to him. I think I can direct the village manager to direct the village attorney to send out some type of information or find out as the trustee abandoned his position because nobody heard from him and he missed more than 5 meetings. Attorney, did we find out anything? Have we tried to reach out to him?
Jason, I didn't get that direction. Really, it came up. I spoke with the village manager briefly when we were at one of the meetings downtown, and we didn't follow through with it. I would just say I received a couple of emails over the last few weeks from Trustee Chavez. Somebody sent me an email with a newspaper report that was quoted to be down in Texas for some judging matters, and he put it for a panel. So I can look into it, but I haven't looked into it anymore.
I'm directing you now to look into it because I believe our ordinance has a policy here saying that a trustee can only miss so many meetings. So we please look into it so that way we would have some information to pass on to the citizen who has voiced their opinion at the last meeting about the trustee absence.
Sure. Mr. Mayor, also, I would like to ask you not to allow that report. I'm not saying he did not send it, but since he didn't CC you or any of the other, I don't know, he may have CC some of the other trustees on that, but nevertheless, he did not CC you, the president of this board. And since he did not CC you and give you information on his status, it should not be read, because we really don't know if he actually sent it or not. So until he can present himself as an elected official by the people, his reports now should not be read by anyone.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I think the village clerk asked who should read the report, not whether or not it should be read. I think that we've had elected officials call in to vote. We're not sure if they were on the other end of that phone or not. We didn't have voice recognition, so they were available. So we can just assume and take on his honor that he was on the other end of that phone call making votes. I think as we can see by a memo I was given by a resident,
public servant. I am a trustee. I can be trusted. That's why I'm called a trustee. Other members here, I can't speak to that matter. But nevertheless, if the trustee is complaining that I send out information that I think that they should know, I will send the information to the public. And until the public tells me that they don't want to hear anything or receive any emails from me, then that's when I'll stop. And until then, thank you.
Just looking for a thought. I don't care.
Hold on now. Let's don't just run out. I will recognize you. Everybody will.
Can you use the mics, please?
Trustee Grady.
Mr. Mayor, we just started 7 minutes ago. We're still on the first item as far as just allowing a communication to be read. It was sent to the village clerk. Now we're trying to see if that village clerk is reputable. Now we're having a trustee saying that the other trustees are not trusted. All was asked, are you going to read it or are you going to allow someone else to read it? That's it. I mean, we can stay on this all night long, but I'm sure the residents didn't come here to hear us again argue. So if you can make a ruling, sir, whether or not you're going to read it or have someone else read it or have the village clerk read it. Irregardless, it should be read because it was sent by a trustee, an elected official. And until such time that person either gives up their seat or is found to be vacant, that person is still a trustee here on the board. So until that happens, but to argue back and forth, to go back and forth, and also, sir, you can only, any person can only bring up, can only rebut twice on the same subject at any time in the meeting. That's in the laws.
Okay. To answer your question, no, I'm not going to read the report. I've had an opportunity to glance through it, and most everything is negative about the village manager, the village police, and the mayor. So no, we're not going to allow it to be read. Because first of all, if the village trustee wanted his report to be read, then it should have been here. There's no reason for a trustee to be out more than 5 meetings and expect that to send a report in to be read without having it.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, one last question, sir. You being the president of the board, are you making that decision without the consent of the board?
I'm making the decision of what's going to be read at the meeting, yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Haynes.
Okay, first of all, you mentioned an ordinance about trustees missing so many meetings. I would like a copy of that ordinance. The ordinance that you are calling out. Do you have that ordinance before you?
No, I don't have it before.
Is there an ordinance?
There's a state statute.
No, sir. You said there was a village ordinance. I'm asking you, is there a village ordinance?
You will get what I have. In fact, I have the village attorney to make sure everybody gets it.
So you made a statement tonight without the information in front of you.
I'm making a statement tonight that the trustee has missed over 5 meetings.
Okay. The other thing is we have precedents set within this community where committees, trustees have sent in reports and they have not personally given it. In fact, over the last few weeks we saw Police Alliance Committee where the committee chair was not here. Reports were given by village residents. You have Beautification Committee. You have Human Relations Committee. Again, you don't have the right to say if something's going to be read or not. So I would direct whoever else has a copy of this report to move forward. I think the other thing is a statement was made that trustees have to answer to you. I think it needs to be very, very clear. This trustee board does not answer, and that is by ordinance, that they do not answer to the mayor. You check your village ordinance and your policy.
If you recognize that I didn't say that the village trustee answered to me on that.
I said a statement was made.
Make sure you clear about it.
A statement was made, again.
I didn't have an opportunity to prepare a formal report again, trying to put everything back in my office, but I will have to say that I did attend the hearing that the allocation water hearing on Wednesday. It was successful, and hopefully we can have our next hearing, I think we go before them in January to follow up to get Lake Michigan water for our allocation. On Thursday, as you know, Mayor, you and I went to Springfield to start the application process for the IPA, and our attorney joined us via phone. Bud was there, as well as Baxter Woodman, and Steve Solo was there, and I think it was quite successful. We're having a follow-up meeting on Thursday at 10 o'clock at Baxter Woodman's office to start actually completing the application based on the compliance plan that we submitted back on the 18th. I did submit an email, Trustee Burgess, in reference to pods. I know that was one of the questions that you had. As you see, they have completed taking all their pods back. I gave a copy to our full compliance department, and they're going to be verifying that all the pods have been removed, and they're still looking for a location. I will be working on and have finished and have assisted Sherry working to some FOIAs, so we will probably be completing most of those, and I will have Trustee Burksford, we won't be ready until 6 o'clock tomorrow, but I'll have a copy of everything for everyone in reference to that. I did receive from the fire department a complete notebook of all of our instant action plans in reference to our water distribution, so we have that. And please, Chief, tell them she did a great job. It's in the window in my office. So we're hoping that we can put it together into my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
You stated that you went to the water allegation meeting until Wednesday?
Wasn't that last Wednesday? Last
Was that the
Wednesday.
same meeting that I attended?
Yes, sir. That was the hearing.
And you stated that the meeting was successful?
The meeting was successful in the fact that they allowed us to resubmit our allocation application. We did have some critiques to the plan. I'm quite sure that we'll have some more answers for them, be able to better adjust that. But Trustee, I'm quite sure that you could comment on the allocation hearing yourself. And I think it was successful that they did not say no. They did say that we can come back in January once we've been able to change some things and resubmit actually a whole new plan in reference to the direction that we're going. Because I think some of the things that we're doing now will actually set us up to be successful in the future as we get ready to go for allocation for Lake Michigan water. But I'm quite sure Mr. Zarni can report on that more in detail of the comments they made to the Robinson engineering plan.
Ms. Manager, I don't know what you call successful. Well, what I heard at the meeting was the Illinois Department of Natural Resources shot all type of codes to that application. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who facilitated the meeting stated that the numbers that was admitted to them in that application were so inaccurate that they thought he made the numbers up, period. So I don't understand how that could be successful when they said point blank that maybe you need to go back and rewrite this application. It's obvious that Ross Engineer had no idea what they were doing, not to mention the fact that they mentioned our subdivision as if separated from the village, not to mention the fact that they couldn't understand, you know, the Department of Natural Resources, why they would ask for much more water than they need to sell it to the subdivisions. Period. It appeared to me as if they were trying to steal water to sell it to our subdivision. That's what it appears to me. In other words, the Department of Natural Resources stated they need to go back and rewrite it and ask them how many months they need, how much time do they need. They asked for 6 months. It was not successful. It was a joke. So why would you sit there and make that statement as it being successful and it was not? Robinson Engineering should not be a part of this Lake Michigan water allocation. It should be removed from it.
But Trustee, I know that you have very strong opinions in reference to Robinson Engineering. But what I was trying to express was that we were successful in the point that we could go to them. They allowed us to come back and resubmit a different application. They were able to give us some clear direction and comments on our plans, and they didn't come out and flat out say no. So the successful thing is that it's still a viable option for us to go to Lake Michigan Water and do some allocation. And you are correct in the fact that Weatherstone as well as Candlelight have some things that we have to look in reference to annexation and how they distribute their water, because how it's done right now has to be changed. So that's why we asked for some time until January to make those changes, to make those adjustments, but they did not say no. And that's why I said it was successful. They said come back, they gave us a big maybe, and they said come back and see us in January, when we had an opportunity to change our plan, to tweak the plan, and to take under consideration the 18 or 19 comments that they made on our current application.
18 and 19 comments, it was like the whole hour, 2 hours that we were there, that's all they did was comment negatively on that application. It was, in my opinion, from what they were saying, very, very inappropriate application. They couldn't understand it, most of it. They could not understand it and didn't know how he came up and what he came up with. It looked like to me they were very disappointed at an engineering firm who was supposed to be an expert in this type of work submitted an application of that caliber. Again, Mr. Mayor, it should be removed and it should be put out for a bid for an expert environmental engineering firm to handle our Lake Michigan Water Connection project. This company should not be there.
Mr. Mayor. I'm still, first of all, we're sitting here talking about an engineering firm that happens to be right here. I mean, this person can easily answer the questions, but until this trustee has a PE behind his name, I don't understand where he can get where he has the expertise to say what engineering firm or who does what or who's qualified to do whatever. That's his opinion, and I want to be the record that that's his opinion. He's entitled to that. But I'm tired of saying that what a person should not be able to do just because he said so. Until he gets some letters behind his name, that doesn't hold water with me. Also, as far as the meeting itself, I still didn't understand. That's what I was trying to ask. Was this meeting about Lake Michigan water, or was it about airstripping?
The meeting, sir, was a hearing in reference to water allocation, Lake Michigan water allocation. It was an official hearing. The clerk can verify that it was posted as an official hearing. Is that correct, clerk? It was an official hearing that was posted, held at the Thompson Center downtown Chicago. The AG even stepped over to participate in the hearing on Wednesday. That was a scheduled hearing.
And so this was about allocation for Lake Michigan water. Had nothing to do with the loan or anything like that.
The meeting on Wednesday was a public hearing for our water allocation for Lake Michigan water. The meeting on Thursday in Springfield was IEPA in reference to the loan application. Two separate entities, and that's in reference to the airstripping. And I'm sorry if I confused you.
No, well, going to the one on Thursday that was down in Springfield, I did ask you about this, and I wanted to ask you. You gave me an answer, but you kept going in the hallway. I wanted to know why did yourself and the mayor have to be driven downstate by a police officer?
Well, the mayor and I went early in the morning in reference to that meeting, as well as, I believe, other entities that drove. The engineer drove himself. I know the attorney wasn't able to do so. And so we assigned a driver to take us down to Springfield in reference to that.
Who assigned?
I did.
Okay, I still want to know, why did we take an officer, a person that's being paid to drive you guys down there in a vehicle that's, okay, it could be the village vehicle, but I don't understand, you guys have license. Why do we pay a person, a third party, to drive you guys down there? You know, if you wanted to use one of the vehicles, there are vehicles out there. There's, I'm not trying to take a vehicle away from Code, but Code has a vehicle. But to have an officer, my question is, why would you authorize an officer to drive you guys down to Springfield? For what reason? I mean, was it because of, security reasons? I just want to be, because the officers, to my ability, are not paid chauffeurs. They're paid to go out there on the street and deter crime. I was just wondering why an officer was selected to drive you guys down there. I just wanted clarification.
Well, let me just state that I had asked the village manager and the chief, because I took off a day of work to go there. I got it on short notice to go. And I just was not prepared to drive to Springfield at a short notice. I asked the chief, did he have someone, and a car. My car, I was not in a position to drive my car to Springfield. So I asked him, I asked the village manager, did we have someone to get with the chief, and did we have someone to drive up, which we were doing village business. We were not doing for pleasure. It was on a short notice. We had to go down there. They request for us to be there. I took a day off of my job to be there, and that's why I asked for somebody to drive me there. I could ask you. I mean, anybody.
Well, you couldn't ask me.
Because I'm saying, I was not prepared to drive. I was directed to be there, and I was not prepared to drive to do village business. I thought it was, I had to have somebody to drive us there since we were requested.
And you felt this was responsible, sir? You felt this was a responsible thing to do, to spend our money this way? Okay. All right.
Taking care of business for the village.
But I understand that, sir. My question was, why do we have to use a uniform on officer, period? Our officers are not at our pleasure to drive us back and forth when we want to use them to drive us downtown, to drive us here and there. That's not what the officers are there for. They're here to protect the city. And to pull a person off the street and have them drive me downtown or to drive me downstate, that's not what the village is paying for. They're not paying for that salary to do that. But if you felt that was okay, I just wanted an answer. You gave me my answer. Okay, thank you.
I've already read the report. Nobody asked the trustee Williams to read any report from trustee Chavez.
Mr. Mayor, you're out of order.
You are out of order.
You are out of order. Trustee, Mr. Mayor, you're out of order. Down.
That report was not being read. I read the report. By the way, because that report was not being read.
Out of order.
Trustee Hayes is out of order.
Put that gavel
I
down.
give your report if you want to, but you will not read any part of it.
Trustee has the floor. You have no right to take the
You
floor
will
from
not
her.
read no more than
You
that.
are out of order.
Trustee Hank, you're out of
Go
order.
ahead.
You're out of order, man.
You are out of order. You are out of order.
Last time you
You're out of order.
Last time
You're out of order.
I checked, I
You
saw.
will not read the report. I read the report.
The last time I checked, I still had the floor. I have not relinquished the floor to anybody. And if we're gonna talk about what can and cannot be said at board meetings, we should have started that years ago. So I'm gonna continue.
We will not, I will not allow you to read the report.
You don't have a
You
say.
will not allow you to read the report. You are out of order. I read the report. Nobody asked trustee Williams to read the report.
The
I
fact
will
that,
not ask him to read the report.
I'm not asking.
I read the report, and that's all that's going to be read.
Louis, I'm gonna just say this.
And I'm not doing something. I don't call you Rosie, so I call you trustee.
I didn't have my
Call me
voice,
by-
so I'm gonna ask you
Call me
guys
by
to
the
say.
title that I have. Call me mayor.
You're gonna act like you're talking
You will not read that part of the report. Read your report, that's all you were going to read.
What if the people want to hear it?
I still recall having the floor.
Can I ask one question, Mr.
Trustee Williams.
Trustee Williams, can I ask just one question before you go any further? Mr. Mayor, will you recognize the attorney as being the lawyer and the village lawyer? Will you recognize the attorney as being basically the referee in this particular file?
There's no referee.
I'm asking you a question.
Well,
Will you-
when you ask the question, I'm here to give my answer.
So you won't allow the referee, I'm sorry, you won't allow the attorney to give his professional opinion on this particular ruling?
My opinion is that I read the report that trustee submitted.
No, I'm asking you, will you allow the attorney?
Trustee Benson, no more answer, no more. You asked the question, I gave you my answer.
So you would not allow the attorney to rule on this?
No, no.
If Trustee Burgess is through, I'd like my floor back.
Yes, I just wanted to find, I mean, he won't allow the attorney to give a ruling, so therefore, you know, this is a dictatorship.
Here's what we got.
You give your report.
Portions of my report did include Trustee Chavez's report.
I read Trustee Chavez's report.
Shut
It is not good.
Shut up.
You ain't got nothing to say about it.
If this report is not able to be read during my report because it involves Parks and Recs, I do want to draw everybody's attention to item number 9, which is comments from the trustees. And I'm going to warn everybody, I'm going to attempt to read it then. And then when it's not able to be read, I'm going to read as part of my report that Sauk Talk articles are due this Friday. And if the report's not able to be provided to the board and public, we will have to use other avenues to make sure that this trustee, who is still a trustee on this board, has the opportunity to speak to his public, which is you. So if I'm not able to read it now, it will go into the Sauk Talk, and I suggest that every other person who normally puts in a Sauk Talk article be cognizant of the fact that Sauk Talk articles are due this Friday. That will be August 31st, 2012. By midnight. Any submission at 12:01, which would then make it September 1st, will not be submitted. So I'm going to attempt to read it one more time, or no, should we just wait till item number 9?
No matter when, that report will not be read because I've read the report already.
Okay,
I didn't ask for anybody else to read the report.
I just want to finish up my report.
It will not get read.
It will get read.
Not in this.
It will.
I just want to finish up my report by stating that. I'm sorry. You just stated that Trustee Chavez is not asking money to read it. In the part that you skipped, I'm not sure if people are not able to comprehend, but in the part that you skipped, it said he asked the village clerk to read his report. So in fact, that's one of those things I was talking about before, how we say incorrect statements. The village clerk asked to read it. You said you would read it. You omitted. Omission equals lies. So that's why we cannot omit things because they are lies. So again, I'm going to attempt on item number 9. If it will not be able to be read, because I'm not a child, I'm not going to sit here back and forth with people who yelling. So if it's not going to be, I encourage everybody in this audience who has any inclination or any wanting to know what Trustee Chavez is doing, plans on doing, or why he has not been here, I would encourage you to look at the September issue of the Sauk Talk. And again, I do want to I do want to let everybody know that this Sauk Talk is the last Sauk Talk that will be out before November. So if there's anything that's in there, like the corn dog roast that was part of the Mayor chose to read, those items have to be in this Sauk Talk because the next Sauk Talk will not be out until November. So anybody who normally puts in anything about street cleaning or leaves or anything like that, I would encourage you to get this to me by Friday.
You finished? Can't read your mind. Okay, let's move on to Chicago South Plan Housing and Community Development. Mr. Trustee Benson.